Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be learning how to make a short, like the way you can draft your basic short without any paparazzi. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to rule like 3 inches away from the starting of your paper. This is the starting of my paper, so I've already marked 3 inches. So the 3 inches is going to be my starting point by the side, and I marked 1 inches up here, which is going to be my starting point at the upper part. So I'll go ahead and mark my length, the length of your shirt, wherever you want your shirt to be. So I've done that. I will join the lines together. After marking the length, the next thing we need to do is to determine our crouch length, our hip, and our hip depth. And to determine your crouch length, you are going to divide your hip measurement divided by 4. Whatever you get is going to be your crouch length. For me, my crouch length is 9.75. My hip is 39. Okay, so 39 divided by 4 is going to give you 9.75. And for my hip, I'll be using 8 inches for my hip. For hip, you can use between 8 from your waistline, you can use between 8 to 9 inches for your hip. That is the basic. So for my hip, I'm using 8 inches for my hip, and my crouch length is 9.75. Okay, so after reading those two lines, I'll go ahead and label it. So this is my crouch depth CD, then my hip length HL. After doing that, I'll go ahead and mark my hip measurement divided by 4 horizontally, which is also 9.75. You know, I've divided that initially. So I'll mark it from the starting point here all the way to my crouch length. Hope you are getting that. So I'll mark my hip measurement divided by 4 from the starting point all the way to my crouch length, and I will divide it and I'll join it together. I'll join it together like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So after doing that, the next thing we are going to do is to determine our crouch extension. Now, when you are making short or trouser, this pattern I'm making right now, you can use the same method to make your trouser. The only difference is just going to be that the trouser is going to be longer than the short. Okay, so if you are making short or trouser, your to determine your front and back crouch extension, the front crouch extension is different from the back crouch extension. Okay, so for the front crouch extension, you are going to be dividing your hip measurement by 20. Let me take that again. For the front crouch extension, you divide your hip measurement by 20. Now my hip measurement is 39 divided by 20. I got 1.95. Okay, so I'm going to be approximating that into 2. So you come here, you know that this is where we marked, right? On the crouch depth length, you come here, then you mark whatever value you get. For me, I'm using 2 because I got 1.95, which is approximately 2. Hope that is clear. After doing that, I'll go ahead and connect this to my hip length. This point here, can you see it? This point I have here, I'll connect it to my hip length. And for me to do that, at this center here, you can place your um so at this center here, come up by 1 inch or 0.75. You can use 1 inch, you can use 0.75, depending on what you want. For me, I will use 0.75, as you can see. So I'll rule a straight line. Okay, so by the time I want to connect this, it must touch this point that I marked here, and it must also touch this point. So I'll take my curved ruler and do that now. So I'll do that. So it must touch this point, this and this. So can you see? Okay, so we have successfully created our front crouch right now. This is our front crouch. Okay, so after doing that, you go to your waistline. you mark quarter of your waistline from this center, right? From this center, mark quarter of your waistline divided by 4. My waistline is 27. 27 divided by 4 is 7. So you go ahead and mark your 7. But if you want to add that to the waistline, you add your dart allowance, which is 1 inch. So for me, I'm adding that, so that is 8. I'll mark 8 here. Then I'll join my 8 to the hip line. Hope it is clear. So I'll go ahead and do that now. I'll use you can use your straight ruler, you can use your curved ruler to do that. I'll just go ahead and join it to my hip line. We are almost through with the drafting of the front pattern. Okay, so now for the knee length, which is the length of my short, I'll mark whatever I have here. I have 11.75 here, so I'm going to divide it by 2. Whatever I have here, I will divide it by 2 in order to have a center. 11.75, so that means I'll be having 5 point almost 6 inches, 5.75. So I'll mark it. Then from this point, you are now going to determine your round leg, your round thigh, right? The point where the shirt is stopping at, what is the measurement you have at that point? So for me, I'll be using 21. 21 divided by 2 is 11, and 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, right? You know that this is half of your front measurement, half of the one leg, and you are still dividing this into 2. So it means whatever you are marking here is going to be quarter of the round leg measurement. So for me, I'll be using 5.5. Depends on the person's leg. Some people's own, you are going to remove 1 inch from this side. So for me, it's just half an inch. And at this point also, I'll be marking my 5.5. Then I'll go ahead and connect this 5.5 point to my hip. Then I'll connect this to my crouch extension, just like this. You can use your straight ruler for this, and you can as well use your hip curve for this. So I'll go ahead and connect it just like this, and our front pattern is ready. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to be tracing out the pattern with my marker so that you can see everything clearly. Then we move to the back pattern. So this is our front pattern. So for the back pattern now, I'm still going to be drafting my back pattern on this, then I'll trace it out later. So what we are going to do is, at the upper part, which is our waistline, I'll be coming in by 2 inches from the center, which is the crouch, right? So I'll be coming in by 2 inches. I'm using a blue marker for this so that we can differentiate. And at the crouch area here, I'll come in by 0.75. You know that this is our line. This is our line. So I'll come in by 0.75. 0.75 at the upper part, coming by 2 inches at the crouch depth, coming by 0.75. Then you join it together. You are going to be having a slant line. The reason is because the back measurement, the back short or trouser is not supposed to be straight at the back. Okay, so we are going to be having a slant line. Now all the measurements we took here, we are going to be taking it back now, but it's going to be starting from this way. So this is serving as our center front. Hope you get that. So I'll go ahead and mark quarter of my hip measurement, which is 9.75 from this blue line. So I'll mark 9.75. I'll do the same thing on my crouch depth, because that is what we did before. So on my crouch depth, 9.75, I will add half an inch to it for my crouch depth measurement. So I'll be having 10.25. On the hip length, you are going to mark your hip measurement divided by 4. But on your crouch depth length, you are going to mark your hip measurement divided by 4 plus half an inch. Then I'll go back to my waist, measure my normal waist, which is 7 inches plus 1, that is 8. So I'll go ahead and extend those lines. I will extend the lines now. Then I'll connect these 3 lines together. The shape you are going to be having for the back piece is going to be funny somehow, but do not mind. You can see that this one is, the front piece one is a bit curved and this one is not even curved at all. Okay, so after doing that, I'll come back to my crouch extension here. You know, for the crouch extension of the front piece, we divide our hip measurement by 20, and for the crotch extension of the back piece, you are going to be dividing your hip measurement by 10. Okay, so at this point here, I'm going to be marking the value I got after dividing my hip measurement by 10, which is, I got 3.9, and now I'm going to approximate it to 4. Okay, so this is my 4. Can you see? This is my 4 now. Then I will extend this line, this crouch depth line. I'm going to be extending it. So I will make sure I connect this 4 to this. Now, this is going to be a bit different, right? So all you just have to do is place your curve ruler on the crouch depth length and make sure it touches the center back line. This line we have here is not necessarily is going to touch this 4 inches, no, because the curve of this is longer, right? So you just have to place it like this. Just place your curve ruler like this, then draw. Remember, the blue marker is our back pattern and the black marker is our front pattern. So after doing that, we are almost ready. So we are going to do the same thing we did for the front, which we mark what we have here. Now for the back, now we are having 14.5 here. So we are going to divide it by 2 in order to get, we are going to divide 14.5 by 2 in order to get the half of it, right? So 14.5 divided by 2, we are going to be having 7.25. So remember, this is our center. So I'll place 7.25 here, which is the center we did at the beginning. That is still going to be serving as our center. Okay, so I'll mark 7.25 here, which is going to be here. And I'll also mark 7.25 at the edge here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Then I will extend the line. So from this 7.25, I'll go ahead and minus 1 inch from each side. So I'll be minusing 1 inch from this one, which is going to give me 6.25. So this is the new line now. And for this side also, I'll remove 1 inch, and this is the new line. So this new line, I'll connect it to my crouch extension, and I'll do the same for the other side. So let me connect this one right here. And this one also, I'll connect it to my side seam line. Okay, we're almost through with the back pattern. Now we go back to the upper part of the back pattern, which is our waist. We had to extend our crouch depth for the back because of the butt we have at the back. So we are going to be extending this. You know, this is our starting point, right? So we are going to be extending it by 1 inch. That was why I left this 1 inch initially. So I'll be extending it by 1 inch, which is here. Then I'll connect it back to my side seam, which is here. So you can just use your straight ruler, you can use your curved ruler, but I always prefer to use my curve. So for the dot now, whatever you have here, you divide it by 2. Here now I have 8 inches. I'll divide it by 2, which is going to give me 4. This is my 4 inches point, right? So at that 4 inches point, I'm going to be extending the line straight down. to about 5 inches. Okay, this is 5 inches. You can use 6 inches, but please, it shouldn't be more than 6 inches. Then I will take my multipurpose curve or master curve. This is it. Then I'll place it straight. Okay, by the time I'm placing this straight, I'll make sure that it is straight on this line. You know that the line we have here is a bit slanted, right? So it has to be straight on the line. Now, by the time I place it straight on the line, that is, it's touching the line the way it is like this. The line I'm going to be ruling here is going to be slanted. Yes, that is how it's going to be. But if you now decide to place it straight here, the line you are going to be ruling here is going to be, this place is going to be. No. So after marking the 5 inch point, I'll take my master curve set, which is this. So I'll place it like this. I'll make sure it is straight like this. By the time this straight line is straight, the upper part is going to be slanted. Can you see? The reason is because our back is not straight. So do not bother when you see your own like that. So I'll mark my straight line like this. Then I'll go ahead and create my dart, which is ½ inch on both sides, because I added just 1 inch as my dart allowance. So I'll place ½ inch on both sides. Remember, the blue marker is the back. So I'll place ½ inch on both sides, then I'll connect it together. Okay, so the back pattern is ready. So I'll go back to my front pattern in order to create the dart for my front pattern, and I'll be using my black marker for that. So as the same thing we did for the for the back pattern, divide your waist measurement by 2. You know, this is our front pattern, which is 4 inches, and this is my 4. So I'll come down by 5 inch. Then I'll rule a straight line. So in the front pattern case, make use of your straight ruler. Why? Because your front waist is straight. Okay, the reason why I use the pattern master for the back is because the back waist is not straight. Then go ahead and mark your ½ inch on both sides to create your dart. Then connect together. Okay, now the our pattern is ready for the front and the back. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is I will be tracing out my back pattern from the front pattern. So I'll cut out this now. I'll cut it out roughly, then I'll take it to another paper in order to trace out the back pattern from the front pattern, so that we can have a separate pattern. And this particular pattern that you draw out together, you can actually decide to make it a pattern that you can keep, that you can use to create different type of shorts, because this particular method, you can adapt different type of short out of this. Okay, even if you are making a trouser with it, you can adapt different type of trouser with it. So I'm placing it on another paper now. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down, then trace it out. I'm going to pin it down. As you can see, make sure that by the time you are pinning it down, you make sure it's laid very flat. And I will be using my tracing wheel to trace it out. So I'll be tracing all the blue lines out, and I will trace my hip length and my crouch depth also. But the remaining blue lines, I'll be tracing it out. So let's start. So you make sure that you trace it out in a way that it's going to be showing on the other side of the paper. That is just the main reason behind this. You want whatever we have here to be on this second paper. And if you have a transparent paper, you can place it under while drafting. It's going to be showing everything that you did on this one under, if you are using a transparent paper. Hope that is clear. So I'll continue tracing out now. So this is my traced out pattern. As you can see, I'm going to highlight it with my marker, and this is the pattern we drafted earlier, which consists of both the front and the back. So this particular pattern, you can decide to keep it in order to adapt it to different types of shorts for this particular size next time, and you can decide to cut it out. So for me, I'll be cutting it out because I'm doing this just because of the tutorial. So I'll be cutting out, you can see that I'm cutting out the black marker, which is my front pattern. So please, when you are doing this, do not get confused. Okay, so I cut out my black marker, which is my front pattern alone. If you have watched this video to this point, please kindly like my video, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I drop new videos. And you can also request for a video in the comment section. I will surely do justice to it. Now this is my front pattern. I'll go ahead and cut out my back pattern. So these are my pattern, this is my back pattern, and this is my front pattern. Now you will notice that the measurement we have here is going to be more than the one we have for the measurement we have here for the back pattern is going to be more than the one we have for the front pattern. Now this is my front pattern, right? So I'm going to measure it now so that you can see. We have 11 inches here. Now let's measure for the back pattern. We are having 13 inches here. It is fine. The reason is because normally your trouser or your short is always bigger. The back piece is always bigger than the front piece. That is why we have it that way. Assuming we are making a long trouser, like the long trouser pattern now, I'll be explaining some things to you, but because we stop at the short part, that is why we do not need those explanations. All right, so it's going to be normal. So in case you find out that yours is like this, do not panic, it is fine. Now this is the basic pattern. If you want to cut out your waistband, you go ahead and cut out the waistband on it. Now let's assume that I want to cut out the waistband for this particular one, which I am not. Okay, so let's assume. Now the first thing you do if you are cutting out your waistband is to close up your dart towards the side. Close up your dart towards the side, then mark your band length. Whatever you want to be your band length, you mark it out. So you can decide to use 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches for your band length. So you just mark it out like so, all the way. You mark whatever you want all the way, then you cut it out on fold. You cut it out on fold, right? Yes, but for me this is going to be a bandless short. That is, I'm not adding band to it, so I'll just go ahead and cut it out the way it is, like this. Then I'll go ahead and sew. Now if you are cutting it out, remember to add your allowance, joining allowance, because even as it does not have band, you are still going to turn the band, right? So you add half inch here. Then for the side, you can decide to add half inch, 1 inch, but I don't exceed 1 inch, so I'll add 1 inch. Then the crotch area here, if you're adding your zipper to the front, you can add half inch, you can add 1 inch because of the zipper. But when you get to your hip line, you start adding half inch. But I'm not adding my zipper to the front, so I'll be adding half inch to the front. My side, this is the inner leg, right? So I'll be adding half inch to this place, and the folding of the hem, I'll be adding 2 inches to this place. Now if you are adding your zipper to the back also, add 1 inch from your waist to your hip depth, and from this place you start adding half an inch, right? And do the same, add half inch here. Whatever you add for the front here, that is what you add for the back also. Then whatever you add for the front here, that is what you add for the back also. And you are going to be cutting 2 pieces of this and 2 pieces of this. Hope you find this video helpful. If you want me to show you how to draft a short or trouser with band and pocket, please let me know in the comment section down below. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I drop new videos. See you next time. Bye